Welcome to the second episode of Wasteland Weaponistics. Last episode I covered the combat rifle. This episode I will cover the ever-mysterious Radium Rifle. The Radium Rifle was introduced into the Fallout universe with Fallout 4's DLC, Far Harbor. The only other game the Radium Rifle appears in is just Fallout 76, at the time of making this video. The Radium Rifle is a semi-modular design, able to be modified with several different barrel lengths, stocks, muzzle attachments, and sights. However, it is not as modifiable as something like the Combat Rifle, as you cannot change its caliber. The defining feature of the Radium Rifle is that it irradiates the .45 or 45 ACP rounds it fires. It seems to do this through the many electronic parts attached to the receiver of the weapon. Some of them kind of look like modified gamma gun rounds. These allow the rifle to coat the bullets in a form of radioactive material, most likely radium, which the rifle gets its name from. Radium is a highly radioactive substance that is able to glow green. It had many uses in the early 1900s, one of which is early night sights on rifles. The origin of the Radium Rifle is a mystery. Originally, most thought this rifle was created by the Children of Adam, since they are a religious militant cult focused on the worshipping of radiation and their god Adam. The Radium Rifle fit right in with something they would make, as they make heavy use of the gamma gun. However, since this rifle is included in Fallout 76, which takes place almost 200 years before the Children of Adam existed, this completely changes the lore of the Radium Rifle, putting the Radium Rifle as a pre-war weapon. Now, there are two unique versions of the Radium Rifle at the time of making this video: the Radical Conversion and the Kiloton rifle. Both of these are obtained on the island of Far Harbor from the Children of Adam. The Radical Conversion is obtained through a quest from Sister Mai, while the Kiloton rifle is simply bought from Brother Cain. The Radical Conversion has the legendary effect of ignoring 30% of an enemy's armor and energy resistance, while the Kiloton rifle has the legendary effect of having explosive rounds. Since these are both acquired from the Children of Adam and they are located in the US Navy base, now called the Nucleus, we can guess that these rifles were found on the base. What use the military had with semi-crude weapons such as these? Well, I have a theory. I'm going to guess these rifles were part of some program to create a type of rifle chambered in 45 ACP that would have increased lethality over standard 45 ACP submachine guns. In real life, we have several of these strange weapon tests that happened all throughout the Cold War, and even still happen. Like, in the 1950s, there was Project Salvo. In the 1960s, Project Spew, Special Purpose Individual Weapon. 1980s, we had one of the first versions of the ACR, the Advanced Combat Rifle program. In the 1990s, we had the OICW, Objective Individual Combat Weapon, as well as many others. These programs would lead to companies creating firearms so strange and crude-looking they don't even look real. Here are some examples I've picked of the many different weapons that come out of these programs. The Harrington and Richards Spew, SPIW, the Springfield Armory Spew, SPIW, the Winchester Project Salvo Double Rifle, and the H&K XM29 OICW. The Radium Rifle is most likely submitted to one of these tests. What other competitors existed at the time of this test, we can only guess. Maybe in the future we will get more ballistic weapons that have this side effect. Looking through the weapons of the Fallout universe, there isn't many ballistic weapons that do something similar to the Radium Rifle. The closest would be Perfect Storm from Fallout 76, a 10mm SMG that fires incendiary rounds. But this is due to a unique legendary effect rather than something all 10mm SMGs do. I'm going to say that the Radium Rifle was submitted to a test before the existence of energy weapons. The reason I say that is because what purpose would the Radium Rifle serve to a military during the time of energy weapons? How much longer before the existence of energy weapons? Well, we know energy weapons were used by the time of the Battle of Anchorage, as we can see T-51B soldiers using AER-9 laser weapons. There is also a confirmed account from Fallout 2 of a Marine sniper using a Watts 2000 laser rifle in Nanjing, China during the Sino-American War in 2066. Also, General Moriarty was tasked with replacing, at the time, to be aging Winchester P64 plasma rifles, now known as the plasma caster. I'm not sure how long the military thinks aging is in the Fallout universe. In real life, some military weapons go on to serve for extremely long periods of time, like Abrams tankers being issued World War II M3 grease gun. So, I have no clue when this weapon would have went through testing. Fallout's weapon lore is very confusing, as the US Navy seems to have issued this rifle to members stationed on nuclear submarines, or perhaps this weapon was also given to Marine units that made use of the Marine combat armor, as the Children of Atom Zealots are wearing both the Marine combat armor and using the Radium Rifle. So then, why would the Radium Rifle be found in West Virginia during the events of Fallout 76? Well, it's quite possible it was sold to civilians, law enforcement, and security guards. We also have to note that the Allegheny Ballistics Laboratory is located in West Virginia, which was built by the U.S. Army in 1942, but handed to the U.S. Navy in 1945. So, Fallout's lore is nearly exactly the same to ours until the 1960s, like I said, so that this facility would exist in the Fallout universe, despite us not seeing it on the map. So, this ends the lore portion of the video. We're now going to talk on what the Radium Rifle is based on in real life. The Radium Rifle is clearly based on the real-world Volkssturmgewehr. The VG was a kind of last-ditch assault rifle given to the Volkssturm. The Volkssturm was a militia created in the final days of World War II by the Nazi government. Its units were mostly made up of anybody who was left, anybody that could hold a gun. Women, children, elderly, disabled people, anybody left. The Nazi government had multiple last-ditch weapons designed for the Volkssturm, including bolt-actions, submachine guns, and this assault rifle, the Volkssturmgewehr. The Volkssturmgewehr is an interesting weapon. Not only is it an incredibly cheaply designed assault rifle firing the 8mm Kurz round, it also uses a very strange method of operation. It is a gas-delayed blowback. It sort of works the way that long recoil works, except opposite. On a long recoil gun, like the Remington Model 8, the barrel sits in a jacket and has a spring around it, and the barrel acts like a piston. When you fire the gun, the barrel moves backwards for a certain distance and then locks while the bolt continues to move. The barrel, the bolt then comes back forward, chambering around, then the barrel goes forward. And that's how long recoil works. The VG is similar, but like I said, the opposite. The barrel sits still inside of the jacket, and the jacket, when you fire, moves backwards with the bolt. And then, forward again, chambering the next round. No other rifle uses this type of system, however there are multiple pistols that use a similar system. Now, why Bethesda chose to base the Radium Rifle off of a slightly obscure German last-ditch weapon from World War II is beyond me, but in my opinion, it kind of works. If you wanted to make a crude-looking weapon that has a side effect of shooting radiation. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Wasteland Weaponistics. If you did, think about subscribing to this channel, or my main channel, Tripper Fofo, where I play a multitude of random games.